Hi guys, it's Alston. Today we are going to learn about keywords. Keywords is the first stage on the keyword research process cycle because you need to have a solid understanding of what is keyword in order to do an effective keyword research process. Nowadays, when I see on the industry people asking question, they directly, when we are talking about keyword research, they will directly ask about what is the best SEO tool for keyword research, what is the average competition score, how should I go about finding long tail keyword, which all of these questions are very important. But in order to get the effective knowledge and to have an optimized understanding of all the keyword research principle and understanding how to do the process really effectively, you need to have a clear understanding of what is keyword for different stakeholders and what are the keyword types available, and also having a clear understanding on what is the keyword right for me. So in this lesson, my goal for you is to help you to understand the in-depth explanation of keywords. Let's get into it. What is keyword? Keyword in SEO industry stands for a specific word or phrase that people type into search engine to find the content they are looking for. Simple as that. Someone goes into Google or Bing or any search engines and types something into the search bar, and whatever the word or phrase they are typing to find the information they are looking for, that's basically what we mean by SEO keywords. And now let's take a look into from several stakeholders perspective. First, keywords from a searcher's perspective, where a keyword is a word or phrase that a person uses to search for a product or any information on the web from search engine. A keyword can be single word, phrase, incomplete sentence, complete sentence, and so forth. Any kind of text which they are typing on the search bar is will be considered as a keyword. For example, if someone wants to buy a new clothes, they might type clothes or best t-shirt for the winter season in the search engine, where both of these are keyword, where even if it's a one word or even if it's a almost a phrase, if, depending on the user need, whatever the word they are typing will be considered as keyword. Now let's take a look at from keywords for website holders or website owners. What is their perspective? As a website owner or content creator, you need to choose the right keyword for your product, blog post, article, or any of your web pages. They can use the identified keywords to SEO your website and get the content on top of your search engine results, because by choosing the right keywords for your product, you will be able to bring potential targeted visitors to your website, where from a website owner perspective, these are the keywords I know that my customers are going to be typing. I have valued this keyword and I want to create pages, content, article around these keywords. So I get a much better optimization when I'm doing my SEO campaign and rank for these pages organically in search engines to drive traffic through those keywords to my website and make the users or potential audience see all the products or services which I am selling towards them. Now let's take a look in from a search engine's perspective. What is keywords for search engine? Search engines such as Google, Bing, and Yandex uses keywords to rank search engine results. A search engine uses keywords to understand the content of web page and rank accordingly based on SEO factor. The first thing you need to remember is the SEO factors or Google algorithm factor is not simple. It consists of 100 different factors, where keywords or number of keywords or the primary keyword you are targeting within your content is a core part of your SEO strategy, and search engine uses these words, this content and keyword you are trying to target to understand, okay, this web pages talking about this particular topic area, and their main focus for these keywords are here, and we should rank from them. So just not on one principle like keyword, they use variety of SEO factor, but keywords is a main indicator for that purpose also. Now let's take a look into all the keyword types available. For example, now we know what keywords are. Now let's see what are the types around it. This is a contextual grouping to classify keywords based on common criteria to have a better understanding. Most of the time, definition for this keywords type will vary from person to person. The reason is there is no official guide which is released from Google saying this is the keyword type, this is the keyword. What we have done is, as the industry of SEO keep on growing, so many experts, industry tools, data, reports based on to help the newcomers or to have a better understanding of keyword, we logically categorize several keywords in order to make the understanding, in order to make the keyword research process much simpler. So all these are logical grouping which will vary from person to person depending on their definition, but just use don't think too much into this and see accurately what is what. Just use this as a guiding factor to help you with understanding and to do a keyword research process much more effectively. First, let's take a look into SEO keywords, which are keywords for SERP ranking. These are my personal classification. SEO keywords are term which is created from SEO lingo. Basically, it represent organic or SERP keyword. Now let me show you all the keywords which I put into this category. First, seed keyword. Seed keywords are words or phrases that are considered as a starting point for their industry. For example, if I write a blog post on best practices in SEO 2021, evergreen search engine optimization principle and tips, then SEO is my seed keyword. If you understand it, everyone need a starting point. For example, if you are creating a art, you need a starting point. If you are creating a formula, you need to have the starting point. Similarly, with keyword research, you need to have a word or phrase which is the starting point, which essentially means that you are not going to target that keyword per se, but that is my industry. For example, if I'm in car manufacturing, automobile is my seed keyword. If I'm on selling bread or as a local pastry shop, then food is my seed keyword. Similar to that, every different industry will have a different word, and for this, SEO is my seed keyword. So every industry will have their own seed keyword, which is typically a phrase or a single or couple of words word keyword. The next keyword type is primary keyword. Primary keyword in SEO is your target or most popular phrase or a word that you want to rank high on the search engine. For example, again, if I'm writing a blog post on best practices in SEO 2021 with evergreen search engine optimization principle and tips, then my primary keyword is best practices in SEO, where when it comes to keyword research, primary keyword is sort of like your main keyword. That's what we classify. For example, we won't have one keyword for one web page. We will have hundreds of keywords depending on the need, but we will whatever the keyword which we consider as the most important or the most focused keyword that I ideally want to rank for the top one position, we name those keywords as the prime keyword or main keyword depending on which term you prefer to use. Secondary keyword. Secondary keyword or related keywords are additional keywords that are related to your primary keyword. These keywords helps to broaden the web page's reach in SERP and add more content for people searching for this keyword. Again, for example, if I am writing a blog post on best practices in SEO 2021, then one of my secondary keywords can be SEO, learn SEO, where essentially I'm talking about this, but I'm also considering adding that particular keyword into the example to add more value to the user. So secondary keywords are what is similar in nature to your main keyword, but might be using different words or might be saying the same thing in a different way, which you can add that also secondary keyword, so you can both build your content better and in more depth, and also at the same time rank for all the related keywords as well. Now let's take a look into LSI keyword. The reason I have cut out LSI in LSI keyword is there is no such thing called LSI keyword. There is only semantic keywords. I will explain you why it is. The first thing, important thing is that there is no such thing as LSI keywords. It is an improper term we use in SEO industry. The acronym LSI stands for Latent Semantic Indexing, which is a natural language processing technique created in 1980s. LSI is a method of assigning meanings to words by extracting semantic relationship between them. And since Google does not use LSI NLP model and they have confirmed it, instead, what they do is they have created their own algorithm based on semantic words entities to learn meaning of the web pages. For example, words such as phone and apple might have different meaning on their own, but when we put them together, it shows Apple branded phone. So what LSI keyword? LSI keyword does not exist, as I mentioned. It is a term which improperly we started using on SEO industry. Basically, when someone mentions LSI keyword, they are typically referencing to a semantic based keyword research approach with entities. LSI just stands for a latent semantic indexing patent, a study which they model done on 1980s to just to give a relationship between existing content to understand it better. But what Google has done, they don't use this particular model into their algorithm. They have confirmed and said it. Instead, they have created their own semantic model where they know, okay, these are the words which is linked to this. When I mention entities, that means that this word is connected to this word will create a separate meaning, something like apple and phone, where each of these words have two different meaning when we are looked into it separately, but when we put both of these together, then we know, okay, this is relevant to a phone. So that is what it does. And as the technology progress and the improvement of NLP, natural language processing, where different algorithms to understand the meaning or context of web pages, they have been keep on getting better and better, and that's what we mean by LSI keyword. So if someone mentions you and say you should add LSI keywords to that, that means they are using an improper term, but essentially what they are meaning is to say is that you should add semantic terms where it's essentially a different entity or word which even though look might not related to that content when we seeing from just a single perspective, but when we both combine both of these keywords, that will give you a much more clear understanding and help you to understand what is the focus for that particular keyword. Now let me clear some confusion, because I'm sure that all this explaining related to LSI or the semantic keywords entity will create more confusion, and I will create an advanced guide later specifically focusing on this. But just you don't need to overcomplicate LSI or semantic keyword research process, because what you should essentially do is you can use your general knowledge or common sense to figure out semantic keywords. This is really important because you don't need to overcomplicate it. These semantic keywords are become part of our life. For example, we know that we can say car, we can say automobile, we can say vehicle, because we get to know all this. We know this from a general knowledge perspective or from a common sense of on this. So just use that to figure out the LSI keyword. You can use synonyms, which is coming from of all the different word, which is really useful. You can use abbreviations when you can use industry lingo to short form something. For example, search engine optimization we say as SEO. You can use search engines autocomplete feature. You can also your peoples also are snippets, related keywords or keyword research tools to bring all the different all the this NLP or semantic or LSI whatever they mention. What they are essentially trying to do is these are related keywords which might not mean same thing when we look at it from a single perspective, but when we combine with another keyword or another topic, then it brings more value for your perspective. For example, again, as I mentioned, for a blog post which I'm writing is like what is the best domain registers in 2021, then for me it could be I could add Namecheap also inside the content. For example, Namecheap, if I see something out of context, then I know I'm not sure what I'm talking about. But when I combine that with a article on best domain name register, then it automatically understand, okay, Namecheap is a domain register and this is talking about best domain name register, so Namecheap must be one of the best domain name register. So that is what I'm trying to explain here, and this will I will explain much more in depth when I'm talking or showing how to do keyword research process. Now let us take a look into the next SEO keyword type, which is time-based keyword, where it is keyword research based on a time span. For example, time span keyword, time-based keyword will be demand only during a particular time frame. That is the most important thing to understand. Well, let me go into much more detail. The first type is short-term fresh keywords. Short-term fresh keywords have been recently created and it has a large amount of traffic and it's still growing. The fresh keyword will have an explosive search traffic but will have a harsh fall once the hype is over. That is the most important thing to understand. For example, this includes movie, name or a product launch. Wow, what's happening here is that these are completely brand new, which does not exist on current keyword database, but something created just right now. As I mentioned, product launch, where we haven't seen that product before but we are just getting to know it, or a movie which is going to be released soon. So these are short term fresh keyword. When that is announced, it will create a huge trend data or huge amount of influence, but once that hype is over, something like movies, where once that is gets watched or the popularity reduces or people move on to other movies, then the search demand will go out for slowly, where it could be hovering over the low volume. So those are the keywords which we call or classify as short-term fresh keywords. Now let's take a look into the long-term evergreen keyword. Long-term evergreen keywords have been around for a while and they have potential to bring consistent traffic over a long period of time, and it is just evergreen. For example, learn SEO for free is a long-term keyword because it has been searched for decades and it will be in future too, where these are keywords which don't have a time factor associated with it, where we know that this keyword is going to be searched whenever on the time, does not matter the time or span, it's going to keep on getting searched. Something like weight loss, bodybuilding, exercises or current news, all these different keyword terms that as a general, these don't have any time factor associated with it. There is no additional factor. Whatever the product changes, industry changes happening around it, but these keywords are going to be getting searched on those searches, and there is not going to be any large dropping or significant improvement, and that is the keywords we call as long-term evergreen keywords. The next keyword type is seasonal keywords. Seasonal keywords are those with a certain time frame in which they are relevant. For example, Christmas gift is a seasonal keyword as it would be relevant for the time period from November to December. Where it's not just surrounding any festivals or something like that. For example, winter shoes, summer clothes, all these things, hunting season, all these different keywords, what they have in common is that those keywords are only associated with a certain specific season or a time of the year. So these keywords will have a huge demand during those specific days or weeks or months, but after that is over, it will plumb back to a low amount of search volume. A good example, another one is Black Friday, where we know that there's a huge demand for that market, but it's just going to stay around relevant for 1 or 2 weeks by the November end to December first week. So that is what we call by seasonal keywords. Dying keyword, this is not one you will see most often. This is one of my personal classification which I like to do, where a dying keyword is a keyword that has lost its value in search engine results. The term dying keyword is often used to refer keywords that are no longer relevant to your results of search query or industry is slowly shutting down. For example, a product from a company that closed down recently, or people are moving away from an industry like a film roll camera based to a digital cameras. So what happens is, for example, products get shut down or a service or something. These are just example, but we know that it's getting demand right now, but over a period of time we will see that demand keep on decreasing. Or for example, when the film roll camera was the height of the industry, it was the potential, so many people were searching for it, so many people were buying it, but once we got to know digital cameras, digital technologies, the interest for those keywords has been continuously going down. Or I'm not sure about the current thing, but just you need to understand these are the keywords where we know it's the dying keyword, where it might look really good now, but any potential changes to industry or the product or the service of the company or any different factors going to affect that keyword. So we will see a continuous downtrend for this keyword could be an evergreen keyword in the past, but depending on all the changes, it could become a unnecessary keyword for you guys. Now let's take a look into all the keyword types based on the length, where length based keywords are keywords that are based on the total length of the keyword phrases and how we should logically organize them. Well, first one is short keyword. Short or single word keyword in SEO is the keywords which have only one word or short phrases. For example, a single word keyword SEO is short for search engine optimization keyword. Usually these keywords will be very hard to rank in search engine optimization because SERP results page will be will be full of web pages with lot of SEO powers. Just you need to remember, short keyword does not essentially mean that it's just one word. Even one or two, three words also will be considered as short. As I mentioned, these are classification. There is no set rule. So just you need to understand. So when we say mention something like when I'm doing how to do keyword research, I'm showing you all the examples. When I mention short keyword, I'm just referring to the keywords which are very short in nature, and these keywords is going to have a lot of searches but lower search intent. I will explain that in detail coming soon. And but it will be very hard to rank for those keywords because those are very big markets, and so many of our higher powered domain sites will be ranking for those keywords, and that is what we call as short or single word keywords. The next one is the most common keyword which you will see, which is called regular keyword. Where regular or mid-tail keywords are keyword phrase that has been between 2 to 6 words. Again, this is a personal classification. There is no industry standard, but I'm just referring to just a regular keyword which typically will be 2 to 4 5 words or something like that. These are common keywords you will find most of the time while doing the keyword research. Usually these keywords will be medium to odd SEO competitive depending on their industry. As I mentioned, these are the most of the common or most of the keywords when we are doing research will fall into this category, where it's not a short keyword, it's not a long keyword, but just it falls on the middle, and most of the time people search using a short phrase rather than single word or a full sentence or question. So that is what we consider as a regular keyword. Now let's take a look into some of the one of the most favorite keyword for most of you guys, including me, which is the long tail keywords. Long tail keywords are keyword phrases that typically have between 6 to 20 words. Again, a personal classification. Long tail keywords aren't searched very often, but they will have a low SERP SEO competition compared to the regular keywords. Question keywords or sentence based keywords also will make a good long tail keywords. These terms are called also as a low hanging fruit as per my personal classification, where because they are easier to rank and will have likely to have a less SEO competition with great conversation since their intent is focused. For example, if someone is typing how can I lose weight within 7 days using what a weight loss method, this is a long term which might not get thousands of searches, but let's say for example even if it gets only 50 searches a month, we clearly know what the searcher is looking for. We clearly know all the restriction requirement for the searcher, so we can create a better content and rank much more faster compared to something like weight loss and 7 days or even weight loss. But we can rank much more faster, but even though there is a less amount of search, we still be able to rank, and we will understand the intent of that searcher much better to create a more suitable content for them and just be any generic content for that. So that is what we call as a long tail keyword. Now let me focus on business or customer centric keyword, identifying your customers. These keywords refer to a word, phrase, or an idea geared toward identifying the business's stakeholders. A well-defined business or customer-centric keyword is clearly defined and focused on customer needs or identity of the customer. Will look unnecessarily confusing for you, but when I may show you all the different types, this will become very clear for you. The first type is market segment keyword. Market segment keywords of words, phrases, and topic related to a specific market or a industry. For example, the keyword SEO is a market segment keyword because it is associated with search engine optimization industry or website ranking. So that is a market segment keyword. While not all the keyword associated with specific industry are market segment keyword, some of the broad or general terms may also be considered as a market segment keyword, where just remember these are personal classification, could be wrong from some people's side, but we just use these category to have a better understanding. So when I'm showing like these are the market segment keyword, you can have a better understanding. Okay, these are what it's going to be focusing on, market related or industry related words or something like that. Just whatever the words or phrase which identify an industry or a specific niche, we call them as market segment keyword. Product defining keyword. This is also very simple to understand. Where Product and service keywords are words or phrase that describes a product or service. Simple as that. For example, a product or service keyword might be WordPress hosting, where it clearly says that it is a hosting solution for WordPress CMS. Or let's say, for example, Nike shoes, which clearly shows that this is a Nike shoes, which clearly shows that it's a product and service keyword focusing on one particular general product or specific brand product in. So that is what we call as a product defining keyword. Brand keywords. Brand keywords are words that are associated with one particular brand, as I mentioned on the previous, where, for example, Google is well known for its search engine, while Apple is known for its product, where any keyword or any phrases you are going to target, if it has a brand, we will classify that as a brand related keyword also. The next keyword is competitor keyword. This is one of the most important one, where a competitor keyword is a keyword that is related to your competitor's company, product, or keyword targeted by competitors. The term competitor usually synonymous with competing businesses. The tactic includes using their name, brand in a relevant and contextual way on your SEO process, or going after keywords that your competitors are using. For example, for Bing, a competitor keyword might be Google search engine or best search engine if Google is targeting that keyword. The understanding is very clear. For example, any keywords which mention one of your competitor products and looking for a different solution, you might go after that, or you might go after and say why your product is much better than them. Or if your competitor is going to target one specific keyword, you can use that keyword and into your keyword research process. So when I mention competitor keywords, it can be either of two things. One, a keyword which specifically mention competitor name or brand or service which they are offering, or any keywords which are targeted by your competitors. You are reverse engineering that particular keyword and trying to extract those keywords into your SEO keyword research strategy. The next one is geo or local keyword. A geo-targeted or local keyword is a keyword that is relevant to a particular region, city, or language. This type of keyword is very important for local businesses that want to target only their local market. For example, if you are in a digital agency in Colombo, Sri Lanka, you might use a keyword Colombo when marketing your services to your customers in Colombo, Sri Lanka. What essentially this means is that there is a huge market for local keyword where I don't care about ranking internationally, I don't care about ranking nationally, even I don't care about ranking for the whole state. But depending on my geographical location, can be a city, can be a language, can be a state, can be a suburb, can be a national, then when our keyword clearly identify that these keywords are part of this geographical location, we use that keyword to classify it as a local or geo keyword. There are some exclusions also. For example, if the keyword is clearly mentioning that best digital agency in Colombo, then we know that is a local keyword. But certain search engines have added a much more interactive feature where, for example, if you go into Google and type best digital agency near me, even though it does not mentions the name of the location or geo as a opposite to near me, just because based on the searcher's geographical location, they can figure out, okay, this person is looking for digital agency around that particular location. So those also will come under both local and geo keywords as well. The next type is misspelled or industry lingo keywords. This is not the biggest, but I thought it deserved a mention on the keyword type to give you a better understanding. For example, industry lingo keywords are specialized words or phrases using that particular keyword industry. Misspelled keywords are someone makes a mistake in typing, and these keywords they might want to try to look into it. For example, someone might type drink as drink, and search engine optimization is also known as SEO. This is one of the minor strategy right now, but it used to be a really big strategy in early days. So that's why I wanted to just mention as a final point where you can use industry lingo where when you know, for example, in a one particular industry, someone might be referring to that as a something else, but any person from outside the industry wouldn't know that particular keyword. So when we can try to include the industry lingo to attack people attract people who are coming from that particular industry. And misspelled keyword does not necessarily have a spelling mistake, but it gets used a lot where people are attached to that particular keyword, where even if it's a misrepresented name, since just people are searching for it, this deserves attention. Something like, as I mentioned, LSI keyword, where there is no such thing as LSI keyword, only semantic keyword. But even though we know that semantic keywords are, when we are saying LSI keyword, we mean semantic keywords, but people still search for LSI keywords, something like that. So that's what I was going to refer it. So just focus on both industry lingo and also spelling mistakes or improper ways to mention some particular product or services, because that will also come into play when you are doing keyword research. So now let's take a look into the buyer keywords, understanding the intent. For example, buyer keywords means keywords which you can use to find your potential buyer. For example, keyword intent, search intent, or what this means is what searchers want to achieve by typing your keyword into search engine. That is what keyword intent stands for. For buyer keyword, keyword intent is important because you can identify in which buying stage cycle your audience is in. The major buyer keyword have three different categories or cycles. One is informational, navigational, transactional, or commercial. They try to make some of the SEO experts or lessons will try to make it as a four category, but for classification or simplification process, I try to make it as three different categories to help you with your understanding. For example, let me look into the first category, which is informational keywords. Informational keywords are words used by people who want to find out more information about a topic or a topic they know little about to learn something new and useful from it. For example, creating a blog post about SEO guide will be an informational keyword because it can help people to learn more about SEO. Where this is the first cycle of the buyer keyword research process, where they are don't have any buying intention or immediately don't have any intention to know what they are looking for, but they are just getting started on this or just trying to find all the different keywords to give a better understanding of that subject area. That is what we call it as informational keyword. Some examples include VPN reviews, how to play pool game, weight loss tips. Typically, we will find articles, video, blog spot pages, blog post, all this under this informational keyword. The second part is navigational keyword, where navigational keywords are going to be keywords used by people who want to find the way to achieve a goal or considering to finding a solution to buy. They are still not on buying cycle, but they are just considering or finding a solution for it. For example, if you create a page about SEMrush keyword tool, this will be a navigational keyword because searchers know what they want and they are looking to learn more. For example, SEMrush keyword tool, where you can clearly see the intent where they already know, okay, I want to know about SEMrush keyword tool specifically. I'm not looking for keyword tool as per se, but I know exactly what I want and I want to learn more. So they know the solution, or they at least have a good idea on the solution and looking to learn more. And you can see, even though when they mention SEMrush keyword tool, they there can be some commercial value, but it's not fully focused on what. Let's say for example, any people who are typing SEMrush keyword research tool is not going to buy SEMrush keyword research tool. That is what I'm trying to say. So when they are in navigational, they know the solution, they might consider to buying that product, but they are just in the middle stage right now. For example, navigational can be Gmail login, Apple, SEMrush keyword. Usually the pages you will typically find ranking for these kind of as home pages, brand pages, service pages, all these examples. Sorry. The third and final where I try to combine both of this together is transactional or commercial keywords. Where transactional commercial keywords are words people use to buy something or have an immediate commercial intent behind that search query. These are the most valuable if you want to make a sale or services. Where, for example, creating a blog post about SEMrush review or SEMrush discount, then they will be a transactional keyword because they understand the problem, they know the solution, and they are looking to pick up specific product for them. For example, when they type something like buy Tesla Model 3, SEMrush review, public connect price, what the goal is, they have decided, okay, this might be the suitable product for me. I'm directly in this buying cycle, final stage to make a decision whether I want to buy this or not, or move away from it. So that is the intent behind it. All these things under work as a cycle where informational takes place, and then the navigational takes place, then transactional takes place, in order to understand when the user type that particular search query into the search engine, what stage they are in, what should be the ideal content we should show them. For example, if a user comes into an informational content piece, if we directly start promoting a product without addressing the issues, that will lead to a low conversion rate because they are still not on the buying cycle. So that is the reason we need to understand the search intent behind this, especially for the buyer keywords, to create better content and convert your audience in a much more optimized way. In final conclusion, in this lesson we learned about keywords and keyword types in SEO. Keywords are most important part of any SEO campaign. If you do not understand them well, you can never be sure if your site is going to be ranking for the right keyword, and the whole SEO process can lead to the failure. In the next lesson, we will learn what keyword research and what makes a good keyword research. So you have a clear understanding of keywords, keyword types, how to logically categorize them to help you to do a better keyword research, how to identify the searcher intent behind all these different keyword intent to create better content towards them. The next video is going to be on how to do the keyword research process, how to identify all the factors in keyword research process, and how to decide a keyword is good or not. I hope this video was useful, and I'll see you on the next lesson. Thank you.